last year I lost my dad and brother to suicide. So I found my brother hanging in a closet. Well, actually my younger brother found him hanging, and then I found him like laying down. And I was so traumatized, and basically, you know how Dr. Joe talks about being in that survival mode, right? Well, I immediately went into survival mode, and I didn't even know what survival mode was. And I remember looking into his eyes and just seeing his pupils were so dilated, just darkness, just like, it was like it went, like, I could see through his eyes, to the back of his head, down to the earth, through the other side, and I couldn't get this thing out of my head, and because I saw nothing, right? Like, nothing. I didn't know what that meant until I came here, but I had struggled with suicide at the age of like 15. I, kind of overcame my tendencies as I, kind of integrated my child self into my adult self and worked through like, just normal childhood trauma, or maybe not so normal, but I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna, do life and make the best. But when that happened, it took me all the way back, because they were the two people that I enjoyed so much in this life. And there's still grief, I'm sorry. I was so depressed that I couldn't get out of bed. And my body was hurting, and everyone's like, oh, you need to go get on an antidepressant. And I went to like grief counseling, and I kept seeing that image though of finding my brother, with just the black eyes and seeing nothing. And it was like they diagnosed it as PTSD, right? It was so bizarre to me. And so I got on an antidepressant because I was so sad. Like, thank God I had a dog, because the only reason why I went outside was to walk my dog. I mean, I had blankets on the windows, I was like, I don't know how I can go on. And then my body got into that pattern where it was addicted to that pain, and I kept reliving that experience of running up the stairs and then finding my brother. And I could not find a way out. And so I was like, coming up with my exit plan, right? I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to go be with them, because I knew I was still connected with them in a way. I could feel them, and I knew like their bodies were gone, but like, they're not here on this earth, and like it was so much better when they were here. And I just kept thinking like that I couldn't do that because it hurt so bad. My friends, so I've been on this like path to enlightenment for a while, and I went to this retreat and I met some really amazing people in Germany, and we kind of got together like as a reunion, and I was sitting on the beach, and it had just been a few months since that had happened, and my friend Karsten, he lives in Germany, and he started talking about Dr. Joe, because I was like, God, I know that this isn't the right way to go about life. I know that like life is a gift, but it doesn't feel like it, and I can't get out of this cycle. And I've done the grief counseling, I got on the antidepressants, I've done like what the professionals have told me to do, and I still was like, I don't really want to be here if I'm gonna have to keep reliving this. Like, it's not worth it to me, you know what I mean? I'd rather just start all over or something. And he started talking about Dr. Joe, and within like 30 minutes, we were on the beach talking. Because, I mean, my body was in physical pain. Like, I was headed towards disease. I was headed towards I was being reckless with my life, And within 30 minutes of hearing about Dr. Joe, I was inside, plugged in, and, like, looking at all the German subtitles. And I had signed up for the intensive and progressive workshop. And then, like, 24 hours later, I was signed up for the advanced workshop in Berlin, because it gave me hope. And I didn't ever believe in hope before. Like, I was like, you can hope for anything, you can hope for this, hope for that, like, what's hope gonna do? But in that moment, I had really nothing like to go off of, and it gave me hope. And so when I showed up, I went to the week-long a week-long retreat in Berlin. I was ready, and I had some very mystical experiences, and I was chosen to be healed, actually. My team leader came up to me, she's like, you put your name down on the list, right? And I was like, Yeah. And it was like a rebirth for me. And I also had like back pain and scoliosis and just a lot of inflammation in my body. And I was in so much pain, like physically, you know, as well as emotionally. And I felt so much energy go through me, and I woke up a different person, you know, and even before that too, before I even got there, like I would not let myself get out of bed. I was not letting my feet hit the floor until I decided I'm gonna make today great. I'm gonna create a good day today. And it's just been like an incredible journey, and I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for his work. And my brother's name was Justin. And I am currently working on opening a foundation called Just in Time to Save a Life to promote like awareness for people who are dealing with suicide, because I know it's an epidemic. And I feel like if people had the tools, you know, and just even starting with just the power of the mind and your thoughts, you know, and kids as well, you know, because my dad, you know, at 9 years old, he was suicidal. He was on the back porch, you know, with a gun to his head, and his other brother stopped him, and you know, he struggled with that all up until he was 56 years of age, you know, and he never really got those tools. But I just feel called to do that, and I'm so grateful for that, and I just want to share that with other people. Like now I'm excited about life. Like I am in love with life. I look forward to the day because I'm like, I get to create it, and it's so much more empowering, and it feels authentic, and it's such a blessing. And like if I could hug Dr. Joe right now, I would because I felt like he saved my life.